Ever wonder how massive companies keep track of every single item in their absolutely huge warehouses? I mean, it seems impossible, right? Well, it's not magic. It's a really powerful technology called a warehouse management system, or WMS for short. Today, we're going to dive into how this system can turn total logistics chaos into a smooth, well-oiled machine. To really get this, let's look at a story. So, meet John. John's the head of supply chain for a big company, and he has a serious problem. He's basically drowning. His warehouses are this tangled, chaotic mess, and he's completely losing his grip on it. Information is stuck in different places, and tiny little mistakes are snowballing into massive, expensive problems. So let's break down exactly what John is up against. We're not talking about just one little warehouse here. Oh no. We're talking about a whole complex network of them. And as his company gets bigger, the sheer scale of everything isn't just tricky to manage, it's becoming flat out impossible. I mean, just look at the variety John is juggling. He's got warehouses just for raw materials. Then there are separate ones for all the finished products. He even has these specialized temperature-controlled facilities for things that need to be kept cold. And on top of all that, these super fast-paced cross-dock centers. Each one of these operates with its own rules, its own logic, which just adds another layer of complexity to the whole thing. And it doesn't stop there. The moment you step inside any one of these warehouses, the complexity just explodes. You've got security gates to deal with, different docks for trucks coming in and trucks going out, literally countless storage spots with all kinds of different setups, like racks and flow storage, and then there are whole areas just for sorting, packaging, and kitting. It's a logistical labyrinth for real. So here's the bottom line. With all of these moving parts spread across so many different types of buildings, John is essentially flying blind. He can't run his day-to-day operations efficiently, and maybe even worse, he can't get his hands on the critical data he needs to make smart decisions for the future. So you can see John is at a breaking point. The old way of doing things, relying on a bunch of spreadsheets and the memory of a few veteran employees, that just isn't going to cut it anymore. It's not sustainable. He desperately needs a real solution, something that can centralize everything and finally bring some order to all this chaos. This is the big question, right? When the complexity gets so big that just having people watch over it isn't enough, what do you do? How on earth can John possibly get a handle on his entire supply chain again? Well, the answer he finds is a warehouse management system, a WMS. This is the technology that was literally designed to solve the exact kinds of problems John is facing. It's built to provide a single source of truth for his entire operation, changing everything. Okay, so what is a WMS at its heart? Pretty simple, really. It's a software solution that's been built for one specific purpose: to digitally control and optimize every single thing that happens inside a warehouse. I mean, everything, from the second a truck pulls up to the dock to the moment it drives away. But, how does it actually do that? How does it go from being just a piece of software to this incredibly powerful tool? Let's look at how it can take John from that state of chaos, where he has no idea what he has or where it is, to a place of complete, total control. Think of the WMS as the central nervous system for the warehouse. It gives you total visibility and fine-tuned control over every single process. It's not just about knowing what inventory you have, it's about knowing exactly where it is and then guiding workers on the most efficient way to put it away, pick it for an order, and pack it up for dispatch. You see, a WMS doesn't just sit back and watch. It actively guides the journey of every item. The second something gets received, the system tells you the absolute best place to store it. When an order comes in, it calculates the shortest, fastest route for an employee to go pick the items. Then it manages the packing and finalizes the dispatch. It creates this perfectly guided, seamless flow. For John's team, the difference is just night and day. Before, finding an item meant you had to ask that one guy who's been there forever and just kind of knows where things are, which, isn't very reliable. Decisions were based on gut feelings. The whole operation was fragile, depending on just a few key people. But after the WMS, the system guides every single worker to the exact location. It makes decisions based on optimized logic to make sure everything is running at peak efficiency all the time. So all of this leads to the ultimate advantage of a WMS. It's all about shifting from those manual, error-prone ways that depend on individuals to true, consistent, system-driven optimization. And this right here brings us to the most critical takeaway. The real power of a WMS is this: It eliminates the dependency on individual warehouse personnel for those critical, in-the-moment decisions. All that tribal knowledge, that know-how, it now lives inside the system itself. So think about what that really means. The system itself, using all its data and smart algorithms, takes over the tough decisions. Things like where to store an item so it can be picked the fastest, or what's the best path to take to pick 5 different orders at once. The operation goes from relying on someone's best guess to being guided by pure, data-driven efficiency. And that leaves us with one final thought. In a world that's just getting more and more complex, it's not about trying to work harder anymore. The real question we all have to ask is this: is your system smarter than your challenges?